Is it possible to live a fulfilling life without having children? 20M. It is true that I'm probably at the very beginning of my adult life, but this thing really worries me going forward. I really do not want to have kids. I don't consider myself raised well, and I don't think I am capable of raising someone. Too often I see how people who can't be good parents have kids, and how kids don't have a good parenting experience and become bad parents as well. I don't want to contribute to this. I want to live a fulfilling life. If it's just a spiritual / legacy thing, I think I can handle it. I am 30 plus with 2 boats a day. I fucked up children. Don't do it. It is more than okay to not have children. If I had my time again, I would not have kids. This isn't about my kids. They are freaking amazing human beings, and I don't believe I've ever loved anyone / anything as much as I love them. But the truth is, I never wanted kids, and shit just happened, and that's not how it worked out for me. So as someone who felt quite similar to you at your age, it truly is okay if you don't have them. Your life will have fulfillment. It'll be filled full of whatever else you find yourself doing. I posted something similar. I love my kids, but I am not someone who always wanted to be a mother. You make do, but my advice is to never have children unless you really want them. They're not a fix-all. They don't fulfill dreams. No one has to have kids. Of course it is. You can find fulfillment without being a parent. What does leading a fulfilling life mean to you? Do you want to volunteer, learn new skills, travel the world, hopefully allowed again soon? ? Just always be honest to future partners about your stance on children, and do your best to be a good person. That's all anyone can do, really. It sure is. I'm 41F, no desire to have kids of my own, although I adore babies. So far I've forged a simple career in a very fulfilling industry, stood at the base of the world's tallest mountain, bought a house, petted doggos in 6 different countries, traveled most of my own country, Australia, danced on stage with a band at a festival, ticked off most of my concert bucket list, seen orcas in the wild, volunteer and do fundraising for an animal shelter, and on it goes. I feel like I have so much left to do, yet would be content with my life should I die tomorrow. There is such a big world out there with so many fresh and new experiences to have, places to go, people to meet. You're young, get out there and have fun, when it's safe in your area. Stupid COVID. You absolutely can. 38/F, no kids. Some subs that may be helpful to explore this topic. r/fence sitter /truechild free r/child free. If you decide that's what you want, it's the right thing for you. Edit. To all those talking about how unhealthy the subs are, I offered choices because op is their own person to check them out. If they don't like what they see, they don't have to sub. Instead of combating the options listed, why not provide alternatives for op? Just a suggestion, r/child-free isn't so much about being happy and sharing experiences as a child-free person than complaining about breeders or just being an asshole to kids. Don't join it. I left that sub long ago because it's honestly toxic. ETA, since I'm getting a few downvotes. The post that made me leave was something about a family talent contest with a $20 award. The person who made the original post was angry because their family decided to just give the money to their 5-year-old relative instead of their super talented cousin who had actually won prizes in official dancing competitions. And people were agreeing about how unfair it was. In a contest that took place only once a year for holidays in their family. I'm child-free myself, but there's a lot of posts like that basically consist of complaining that children exist. If anyone tells you, you need anything to live a fulfilling life, they are lying to you. How do I, 22F, break it off with this creepy guy? 24M. I feel silly writing this because we've only been talking for about 2 weeks. If it was any other situation I would just tell him we didn't have chemistry or something, but this guy is seriously scaring me and I need to figure out how to end this properly. We started off just talking on the phone and he seemed nice, so I went on a date with him. I got some clingy vibes from the start but thought that maybe he was just nervous/excited. There were some red flags. He talked a lot about himself, believes he looks like a Greek god or something. He also claimed to be a genius and that he was never wrong. Told me that all his previous relationships just fizzled out but that his last ex was a psycho. I didn't press that, but it concerned me. Despite this, I thought he was funny and seemed nice enough to give another shot. I assumed his self-absorption was ironic or sarcastic, but I realized later it was not. We went on a second date and he came and picked me up from my house, which is where things got seriously weird. He texted me asking for my address, and when I sent it he said, "Haha, now I know where you live," which was bizarre, but I brushed it off. On the date he told me that he showed all his friends, family, and co-workers pictures of me and told them all I was his dream girl, that I was his everything. Told me he pictured a whole future of us together with kids and a house. He also said that his dad thought I was sexy and wants to meet me. He would constantly interrupt me when I was speaking to tell me I was such a good girl, or would make very explicit comments about my body, specific my ass and what he thinks my vagina looks like. I would be telling him about work or my friends, and randomly he would start explaining in detail about how he wants to have sex with me. He said when girls say no or stop during sex it just makes me want it more, completely unprompted. Then he kept grabbing the back of my neck and trying to kiss me. He also said that consent was a concept created by feminists to be just ill-defined enough to target men who did nothing wrong. At this point I was terrified and attempted to end the date early but keep calm. I didn't argue with him about the consent or anything. I just fake laughed and nodded because I was afraid it would upset him, and he seemed unhinged. Since he was the one driving, I was trapped. I asked him to take me home because I had work to do and he refused. I wound up getting out of it by having my friend call me and pretend there was a serious problem. Since he dropped me off he's been texting and calling me non-stop, telling me that he wants to show up at my apartment in the middle of the night, going into long details about how much he wants to touch me and be with me. It's incredibly scary and I don't know what to do. I'm afraid if I tell him I'm not interested he will retaliate or stalk me. How do I let him down and avoid this? Too long didn't read. Went on 2 dates and he started saying very sexually explicit and obsessive things to me. He knows where I live and I need to break it off with him. How do I do it? Edit. Thank you all for the great advice. I wanted to post an update on the steps I made to keep myself safe. Thanks to all your help. 1. I contacted him and told him I was uninterested in pursuing anything further. He was upset and launched into a lot of malicious comments. No direct threats, but just overall wishing me dead and such. I informed him that if he attempts to come to my apartment I will call the police. I also screenshotted all the comments and sent them to my friends and family, as well as saved them to my hard drive as copies. 2. I went out and bought some new locks for my windows and doors along with a bat and some bear spray. Pepper spray / mace is illegal where I live, as are guns without permits. I don't live in USA. 3. Told my parents, they live 2 hours away, but they're going to call and check on me every day for the next while until I feel safe. My dad is coming up tomorrow to install some motion activated lights outside my house to deter anyone. My dad also has a male friend who lives in the area and gave me his contact information in case of an emergency. 4. I let my neighbors and my landlord know the situation, gave them a description of his car and his appearance. They said they'd look out for me. I didn't contact the police yet because I looked it up, and where I live they won't do anything until he makes an attempt. I also can't get a dog as much as I wish I could. My apartment is not big enough to house a happy big baby like that, and it wouldn't be fair to the doggo. But maybe in the future when I move I'll make that a priority. Thanks again to everyone for your help. Consent was a concept created by feminists to be just ill-defined enough to target men who did nothing wrong. Anyone who thinks like this is a certified psycho. Block him on everything. Might even be worth to try for a restraining order because he seems he may become violent. Get some extra locks and stuff on your doors and windows, or better yet stay with someone if possible, like a sibling or friend, for a few days. Text him that you're not interested in seeing him again. Tell him it's not up for discussion and he is not to contact you again. If he does call the police, please be careful. Block and inform anyone you live with. If he shows up, tell him to leave or you call the police. Just FYI, he will show up. Consider this lesson learned: someone wants to pick you up, give them a public location to meet. They fuss about it, don't meet. I live alone, but I am going to add extra locks to my doors and windows this weekend. Yeah, it was stupid to give me address, I just thought he was fine after the first date. Take screenshots of everything he's said thus far, file a police report and block him, like full-on ghost. Don't even bother explaining yourself. If you have a landlord, explain your situation and they may pay to have your locks changed if you feel that's necessary. The cops would probably expect Op to tell him explicitly not to contact her anymore before doing anything. My mum is constantly nagging me to have children and marry my boyfriend. How do I shut her up? I, 25F, am with my significant other since 6 years with no intention to marry him in the near future, let alone having babies. At the moment we are students and a wedding or kids aren't in our time or money budget anytime soon. But somehow my mother thinks it's time for us to marry, always making vague comments like we would always help out financially at your wedding, just that you know, oh wow, look at that wedding dress, it's gorgeous, but you would look better in a V-neck. I already told her several times that I do not intend to marry him anytime soon. Stupid me thought that it would make the situation better. Since then the wedding comments didn't stop, but the child comments were added. Wow, you treat your cats like babies, better get a real one, it looked so natural, you're holding your cousin's baby, you would be a great mum, and also wait till you have your own children, then you will understand, etc. Well, I told her since I'm 14, that I do not want children. It's not that I hate kids, I just love my life without them, thinking that what I don't have I cannot miss. Seeing some friends with children, I see the fatigue in their eyes and I get really frustrated at the noise level I have to endure being at their homes. I talked to my mum about how her comments make me angry, and I feel belittled, and she just brushed it off with, you just don't understand, I was once like you and now look at me, my children are the single best thing happened to me. You will change your mind, I promise. The thing is, I already feel that I do not want to visit or talk to her, because it's her go-to subject number one. Me explaining the situation to her doesn't help shit. I love and miss my mother, but her constant teasing drives us further apart than ever. I suppose the best thing to do is just tell her outright, but if that won't address the situation, maybe highlight how she's making you feel by putting an embargo on contact until she realizes that you're living your life the way you want to and you're not mommy's little girl anymore. Live your life at your own pace and tell your mom she either needs to respect that or you'll maybe reduce communication with her until she stops belittling you and your relationship. Putting an embargo on contact. Sorry, I'm not a native speaker. Can you elaborate on that? Thanks. I will try to talk to her again. It's just so frustrating. D. Our parents always tried to pressure my wife and I to have kids since we were married in our early 20s. I firmly said no. 1. We aren't financially ready, and I don't want financial help to raise a kid if I want one in the future. 2. I want to spend time with my wife traveling and having fun till our 30s, and until then we'll see if we're ready to have kids. 3. I like to sleep. Having kids will have me waking up all hours of the night/day just to take care of another human being. 4. I want to achieve all my goals I've set during my adulthood, but still our parents would keep on nagging. All I know is that won't stop nagging like you kept on nagging when you were young to have a toy. All you have to say is no. Not yet, or no, I'm sorry, but that would change my priorities in life. Thanks. Those 4 points are exactly what I want as well. Maybe I should stop trying to reason with her and just say no next time. Smile.